This is the voice in the wilderness of the people coming to you again in the great wind. This is another day that EZER has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I pray that EZER have kept you, my dear brothers and sisters, in good health, with great strength, that He have protected you from all danger, from all accidents, and from all iniquity. I pray that you have been calling on His name and keeping His commandments, His righteousness in your heart, that it has been guiding you, being your guide, your counselor, that His righteousness, His commandments, has been a lamp unto your feet and a light unto your path, that you have been using His commandments to direct you, to instruct you, and to carry you along on His righteous path. I pray that I may have protected you from all danger, from all accidents, and from all manner of iniquity. So we say, praise be to EZER, praise be to EZER, the mighty one of our fathers, the mighty one of Abraham, Isaac, and of Jacob, the mighty one of EZER-IAH and Dan-Iah. EZER, the mighty one who took us out of the land of Egypt. EZER, who gave us His name as EZER, our Redeemer. EZER, who named His land Moriah after Himself, and named His mountain Mount Moriah after Himself, and gave unto Shemaiah as a token, telling him, when He bring His name unto us and unto Pharaoh, and take us out of the land of Egypt by His redemption, He was to bring us to His holy mountain, the mountain that is called by His name, Mount Moriah, and there He will speak to us. And that's what He did. My dear people, my brothers and sisters, fellow Israelites, the voice in the wilderness is here again to speak to you today. Today, I will go into one of our prophets, the words of one of our prophets, whom EZER has sent to us in His name, with His words to bring unto us. This prophet, our ancestor, one of our elder, is named Dan-Iah. His name is Dan-Iah. But because he was put into captivity in the land of Babylon, they had removed the name of EZER from his name and put their mighty one, that is called El. And they put it in our book as Dan-Iah. But as I always remind you, that EZER promised us He will return unto us a pure language, and He will remove from our mouth the names of Baal, and we will no longer mention their names, but we will call on the name of EZER, our Redeemer, and He will hear us, and He will say, this is my people. So today, my dear brothers and sisters, join with me and call the name of EZER. Put His name in your intellect and call His name. Put His laws in your intellect and let them direct your path. Put His promises in your intellect and work towards fulfilling all his commandments so that you may receive his promises. My dear brothers and sisters, I reveal to us the things he wants us to know. The things he does not want us to know, he does not reveal to us. There are things we can ask for from our Redeemer, and it will happen. He will do it for us. But he does not tell us how it happens, how it's done. This is the power of EZER, our Redeemer. And that's why he gave us dominion over the things of the earth, not over the things that are in heaven. My dear brothers and sisters, today I will go in the book of Dan-Iah, and I will read to you chapter 12, and I would like you to read it with me. I will explain to you what EZER was allowing Dan-Iah to know in this chapter. Here in this chapter, we see that EZER has sent his holy archangel to explain to Dan-Iah a prophecy. EZER, our Redeemer, is doing the same thing with us, his children. He is doing the same thing with us, those whom he has chosen. Until this day, EZER is sending his archangels to us. And I must tell you at this time, I want to give you the name of his holy archangels. Not those who rebelled against EZER, but those who obey EZER, and until this day continue to be obedient to EZER. And they visit us, they protect us, they guide us, they counsel us, they protect us, and they also teaches us EZER's way. And their names are Micah-iah, Rapha-iah, Gabra-iah, Sarak-iah, Ragu-iah, and Remi-iah. These are the 7 archangels. These are the ones in authority. These are the archangels that EZER sent unto us in the time when EZER wants to fulfill any of his promises. These are the leaders. These are like the generals in his host, his army. So we must remember their names as well. And we must also give thanks to EZER for them. We must mention their names when we are giving thanks to EZER for his holy watchers. When we receive what we ask of EZER, we must also give him thanks for the archangels that he used, the holy angels he used to get it to us. They are the ones who are watching us. They are the ones who are looking over us. They are the ones who are protecting us from the evil ones that was fallen. These are the archangels that stand before us. They are the ones who protect us from in front and from behind and from on every side. They are the ones that protect the entrances to our intellect, our nostrils, our mouth, and our ears. They are the ones who protect us always. So we must mention their names and give thanks to EZER for his holy archangels. My dear brothers and sisters, fellow Israelites, I will begin to read chapter 12 of the book of Dan-Iah. And it reads, "And at that time shall Micaiah stand up, the great prince which stands for the children of Iah's people. This is the archangel that Iah have set before us with his flaming sword to protect and to beat down our enemies before our face. There shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time, and at that time Iah's people shall be delivered." Here, Dan-Iah is speaking about 70 AD, about the invasion of Jerusalem, the invasion and destruction of the house that was built for his name. The house was built for his name on the land that was called by his name, Moriah. That house was built on the land that was called by his name Moriah, where his holy mountain that is called by his name Mount Moriah stands. Now, my brothers and sisters, he says, "Everyone that shall be found written in the book of life." I will repeat. There shall be a time of trouble, such as never was seen since there was a nation, even to that same time, and that time Iah's people shall be delivered. Every one that shall be found written in the book, in Iah's book. Here we are hearing Dan-Iah is speaking. Dan-Iah is speaking to Micaiah, the holy watcher. The same ones who records our daily doing, our daily saying, all our actions, and they are the ones who presents it before Iah. Iah, holy archangels, is called by his name. Iah, prophets, is called by his name. Iah, land, is called by his name. Iah, holy mountain, is called by his name. Iah, nation, Israel and Judea, is called by his name. Iah, people, is called by his name. My dear brothers and sisters, I must repeat this to you at all times. Here we go to verse 2. "And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt." Here, the archangel is relating to Dan-Iah how Iah's process, how Iah sets up his rule, his way, how it is set up, and how it will be done. He continues, "They that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament." That's Iah's glory. When he came into the world, he called light. That was his glory. That is not referring to the sun. That was referring to his glory. he called his glory into the earth. He brought it into the earth, and he made light. That was not the sun. He made the sun on the fourth day. So this glory, this brightness of the firmament is talking about Iah's glory. And they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Here, he's saying that that day that is coming, there will be no other day as that day. That day will have so much problems, so much trouble. And it's at that time that will be Iah's people delivered. Those whose name is written in the book at that time will be delivered. Here he is telling him, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Verse 4. But you, O Dan-Iah, shut up the words and seal this book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and the knowledge shall increase. My dear brothers, I haven't reached to this point yet, but I'm going to explain something to you. Here, this Micaiah is explaining to Dan-Iah about things that will happen to us as Iah's people. He was explaining to him about the destruction of the temple. He was explaining to him about Iah's deliverance for his people. He was explaining to him those of us who will get to know Iah's righteousness. When he used the word, and they that be wise. They that be wise are those who seek Iah's truth and his righteousness. His righteousness. Iah's law is the truth. Iah's law is the one that will cause us to be righteous. So here he's saying that those that are wise, those that seek Iah's truth, those that seek to do his commandments, will shine bright as the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But you, Dan-Iah, shut up the words. So the words that he is giving Dan-Iah is not for the time that he was speaking it to Dan-Iah. It was for something to come. It has not yet happened. He says, seal the book, which means close it up. That's not for you right now. Close it up. Even to the time of the end. He is telling Dan-Iah, some of the things I'm telling you here will be for the time of the end. Not the end of his time, but the end of time. He says, many shall run to and fro, as we do today, from country to country, state to state, island to island, continent to continent, and knowledge shall be increased as it is today. You can take a phone and read your Bible. You can stay in any part of the world with a little thing in your hand, and you can speak to anybody, any part of the world. We could read, we could write, we have comprehension, we could get books, we could study our history, we could read these scriptures, and I will make it known to us. He promised us. He said we will go to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. And that's what his words is being fulfilled, just as he was telling Dan-Iah. This is not for you, Dan-Iah. You have to shut up this book. But this is for the time when my people shall be going to and fro, and when I shall increase knowledge unto my people. Verse 5. Then Dan-Iah looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the one on the side of the other side of the bank of the river. So here Dan-Iah is seeing two more archangels. Micaiah is speaking to him. He knows Micaiah speaking to him because Micaiah identified himself to him. You have to read the whole chapters, as I always tell you. I'm giving you a point. You need to read the whole book. You need to get the essence deeper into it. I'm going to show you what I is saying to us, but you have to read the whole book. Here, he is seeing two more archangels. Here, he didn't give us the name of the angels that he have seen, but one was on the one side of the river and one was on the other side of the river. And one of them said to the man clothed in linen. So there was another archangel clothed in linen. He was upon the water. So this archangel was standing on the river. He was standing on the water of the river. He was on the water in the river. He says, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders? So here, one archangel was asking the chief archangel, the one maybe with the linen, excuse me, standing on the water. He was asking him, when will these things happen? When will we go to and fro? When will knowledge increase? You see, they simple as it may sound to us today, it was like a prophecy to them. But today, as he promised us, knowledge shall increase. We are living in the time when he says it will happen. So we know what he was talking about when he said knowledge increase. No, we look around. We know how knowledge increase. We see we can fly with plane. In that time, they didn't have no plane to go in, a plane to go nowhere. We could jump on a ship and go wherever we want, on plane wherever we want. We could talk to whoever we want. We could do anything from just a little gadget in our hands. That's knowledge that increase. Some of their people wasn't even able to read and write. Now, almost every one of us could read and write. So we are living in the time that he was talking to Dan-Iah about, my dear brothers and sisters. He continues. He says, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, he did not clasp his hand. He raised up his hand. He opened his hand. He raised them up unto heaven. And he called on the name of our Redeemer. When you see the word swear, by him that liveth forever, which means he called the name of the one who liveth forever. That's what he did. The word swear, when he says swear by a name or call, or in here he says that swear by him that liveth forever and ever, which means he called the name of the one who live forever. That it shall be for a time. Now he's answering. The one who opens his hand and look up to heaven, he's answering the question. Because he's getting it from heaven. He's getting the answer from Aya, our Redeemer, the one whom he swear by, the one whom he called. And he says, it shall be for a time, times, and half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. Here, he is saying, he is speaking, and Dan-Iah is listening. And he says, these things, this here, he is going to explain to him something. He says, it shall be for a time, and times, and half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be accomplished. When it will be accomplished? When these people who is coming to destroy the temple, when these people who is coming to destroy Ayah's holy people, it's you they came to destroy. Who came to destroy you? Who came to scatter you? It was the heathens, the Romans. They were the ones who came to scatter us. So he is telling you here, the angel is saying, when they come and do those things, after those things, we will start to see what he is saying here. They're going to start to move to and fro, and the knowledge shall increase. My dear brothers and sisters, it was for time to come. He told him, remember in 4, he told Dan-Iah, shut up the words, seal the book, even to the time of the end. So he is telling the angel, the archangel here is explaining when these things will happen. After they scatter us, Ayah's holy people, how have we become Ayah holy people? Because we have Ayah name. The name EZER-IAH or EZER-IAH or EZER-IAH, Israelites. We have his name on us. That's what makes us holy. We have his holy name. But by having his name and not doing his commandments and not hoping in his promises, we have gone astray. So they are coming to scatter us. Because at that time, our people has already picked up what we saw in Hosea when he says, the children of Israel shall spend many days without a king, without a prince, without an ephod, without an sacrifice, and without a teraphim. The teraphim is idols, my dear people. The teraphim are idols. We have to stay without this. And then, he says, then they shall seek Iah, the Redeemer, and David. We have to get rid of the idols. It's the same thing that we had here. We had the teraphims, and that's why we was to be scattered. The power, our strength was supposed to be lost because we was not doing what we were supposed to do. He says, all these things shall be finished. All these things shall be finished. What will be finished? What will be finished? We will be scattered. We will be scattered. They will accomplish the mission to scatter us, destroy Jerusalem, destroy the temple. Now, he's going to go in and let you hear some of the things. He says, and I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O Master, what shall be the end of these things? What shall be the end of these things? He asking a question. He asked when the time will be. Now he asking how it go end, what it is. He need to know. And he said, go thy way, Dan-Iah, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. He said, go on, go. These things is sealed up until the time of the end. What is he telling Dan-Iah? He's telling Dan-Iah, this is not really for you. This is for your seed, your offspring, for the nation, but not for you. This is things to come. So he tell him, seal it up. It's not for him to go his way. And then he said to him, he says, many shall be purified. Many, who's many? Many of the children of Israel shall be purified and make clean. The word white means make clean. And tried to purified. Tried to purified. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall comprehend this. None of the wicked shall comprehend this. Listen to what the archangel is saying. He says, none of the wicked shall comprehend this, what I'm saying to you. But the wise shall comprehend it. The wise shall know it. But the wicked, they will never get to know it. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, that's why you have to comprehend who is your enemies. And when the Most High say that the enemy is wicked, or even some of our people is wicked, you have to look at the behavior of your people and the behavior of the heathen. We know all the heathens, most of them are wicked. But our people, you have to look on the behavior and you will see how wicked they are. Verse 11, he says, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away. From the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away. Now he is explaining to him when these things going to happen. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away. When was the daily sacrifice taken away? When they invaded Jerusalem. And the abomination that make desolation is set up. What was the abomination that make desolation? They offered a swine on the altar. And what did they do after that? They set up what you have now, what you call Roman Catholic. They set up what you call Christianity. They set up what you call now religion. That's what they did. So he's saying here, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that make desolation set up. They was going to set up the idolatrous religions that you see in the world today. Because all of them come from the Roman Catholic institution. Remember, the word Catholic means universal. The word Catholic means universal, international, worldwide. And when they put Roman in front of it, you get Roman Catholic, which means Roman control, a Roman empire, a Roman world domination, Roman rule. That's what it means, my dear brothers and sisters. So what we have to comprehend from this is that from the time they destroy our temple, from the time they set up the abomination that make desolation, that cause us as a people to be scattered and lost our knowledge, from the time they came into Jerusalem and destroy us, scatter us as a people, we have lost the name of our mighty one. We have lost the land of our mighty one. We have lost the promises of our mighty one. We have forgotten the commandments that our mighty one has given us. We forget our laws. We forget our names. They have destroyed everything, and they have set up their system. But their system is the abomination that caused our desolation. That's what he is saying here. The archangel is telling him, when they come and do this, this is what will cause our desolation. It will be abomination to us. So for us now, as Israelites, I know in your book they keep giving you about Jews and Jews and Jews. My dear brothers and sisters, the Most High never called us Jews. The archangel never spoke about us or to us as Jews. The prophets whom I sent unto us never spoke to us as Jews. Nowhere in our book we was called Jews. We always have been with the name of Iah. We was always called Israelites. We always had the name. When someone call you a Jew, you does not have the name of Iah on you. They are taking the name away from you. Just what they did here. They set up the abomination and make it desolation. They set up the abomination. They give us name Jews. They give us Christian. They give us Muslim. They give us Hindu. They give us all these names they give us. And they remove from us the name of Iah. And that's what caused our desolation until this day. By us forgetting the name of our Redeemer, we have forgotten his name, his laws, his land, his promises, his commandments, everything that he gave us. We have forgotten it. So by them setting up the abomination, by them destroying our city, destroying the temple, killing our priests and our elders and our prophets, they have caused us, they have made us desolate. Our land is desolate, as he spoke about in same Dan-Iah, in the book, in same Dan-Iah chapter 9, where he says, our land, we are looked down upon us on our desolation, for the city is desolate. for his people is desolate, because there he tell us, he say, for the city and your people are called by your name. Read it, Dan-Iah chapter 9. Here, the archangel is explaining to Dan-Iah again that when these people come into the land, they will set up the abomination and cause us to be desolate. My dear brothers and sisters, I have a video before that explained to you from the time JC has been set up by the Romans as the savior of the world, and our people have accepted this false doctrine, we have moved away from Iah, our Redeemer. If you, as an Hebrew Israelite, convert to Christianity, you has given up your birthright to Iah, your Redeemer. You has given up his name. If you, as a Hebrew Israelite, convert to Judaism, you has given up your birthright to Iah. You has given up his name. If you, as a Hebrew Israelite who was born a Hebrew Israelite, convert to Islam, you has given up your birthright to Iah. You has given up the right he gave you. You has given up his name. We are not to convert to any religion. Religion is not for us as a people. We were born Israelites. It's a blood right. It's our birthright. We born that. We can't convert to it. Nobody could convert to being an Israelite. That's why the Most High, when he spoke to us, he told us in clear terms, when there are strangers among us, they have to be circumcised as well. But there are certain things the strangers cannot do. He called them strangers. He was referring to the other nations. You know, our people have gone so far, have lost the knowledge of Iah. Just like he says, yes, only the wise shall know. Only them will know. The wicked shall never know. My dear brothers and sisters, when you start to call on the name of your Redeemer, Iah, you will start to know. You will begin to know. He will start to allow you to know. He will open your ears. He made the ears, he will open it. He made your eyes, he will open it. He made your lips, he will open it. He made your tongue, he will cause it to speak. The Most High he made your legs, he will cause you to stand up. He made your arms, he will make you to feel. Iah made everything that is you. No one else did this. He is the one who took us out of the land of Egypt. Remember this. How did he take us out of the land of Egypt? He gave Shemaiah his name to bring unto the elders in the land of Egypt, and to take his name to Pharaoh and tell Pharaoh to let us go. To let us go to do what? Because he gave Shemaiah a token. He says, I give you as a token. When you take them out of the land of Egypt, when you bring my name to them and they get that power from me and they come out, bring them here to this mountain that is called by my name, and I will speak to them. And there is where he gave us the commandments. My dear brothers and sisters, comprehend this and know what I is saying to you. Here, the archangel EZER-IAH is explaining to Dan-Iah. They have manifest themselves before Dan-Iah and are explaining to Dan-Iah the mysteries, because Dan-Iah did not know. He don't know. And here they are telling Dan-Iah, we know you don't know, but that is not for you anyway. So don't worry about it. You just write it down there and put it in the book and leave it there. The day is coming when Iah will reveal it to the ones he wants to know it. He will reveal it in the time when he says he will increase knowledge. He will reveal it unto your offspring to come in the time he chooses. That's what the archangel is saying there to him. And it continues. He says, there shall be 1,290 days. Here he is telling Dan-Iah, what I am telling you here, it will take 1,290 days before it happened. There shall be 1,290 days. And he says to him, blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,335 days. Which means if you live, anyone who live to 1,335 days would have passed that period of time that he's talking about. They will survive. They will survive the destruction of Jerusalem. If they live for 1,335 days, they would have survived what he was telling them there. Here the archangel is telling him, he says, blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,335 days. So which means those who reach 1,335 days, they are blessed because they're going to survive this desolation, this massacre. That means they will survive it. And hear what he tells him. He says, but you go your way till the end be. Hear what he tells him again. Let me repeat it again. But you go your way until the end be, for you shall rest. So he says, he's telling Dan-Iah, go your way. You, what I give you here is not for you. This is for the nations to come in later days, for the nation that's coming. But you will go your way. You will go your way and rest, which means you will die. You will go and then you will die. And then you will stand in thy lot at the end of the days. So when the end of this time come, when Iah is ready to raise them up from the grave, he is going to stand up in his position. He go be stand up when his time come to stand up. When the Most High is resurrecting them from the grave, he will stand up in his lot, which means when he is called, he go be standing up. Just like the Most High told us in Hezekiah, the book of Ezekiel, he will open our grave and he will bring us out. So my dear brothers and sisters, what I want you to get from this, the most important part of this lesson is for you to get, is what it says in verse 11. And from that time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, the abomination that make desolation set up. That's when they set up this anti-Messiah worship, this JC worship. That's when the Romans set up the abomination on us as a people. They scattered us, destroyed us, destroyed our temple, and that's when they took our book. And that's when they started to plot with the other nations against us, so that we will not be a nation, nor we will be able to call the name of EZER-IAH anymore. That's what they did. Now let me show you from another prophet what they did. I will take you to Psalm 83 and I will read it for you. He says, "Keep not silence, O EZER-IAH, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O my Redeemer. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. They that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people." They plan to scatter us. That's what he's saying here to you. They planned the destruction, what they would do. "And they consulted against thy hidden ones, those whom he chose. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation." You hear what they plan to do? They plan to cut us off from being a nation, that the name of EZER-IAH may be no more in remembrance. They did that so that the name of EZER-IAH, the name that EZER gave us, will be no more mentioned, that we, our children, their children, would not have known that name. They will not know the name of the mighty one, my dear brothers and sisters. They have plotted this plot against us so that we will lose our power. The power that EZER gave us, his name and his commandments, that we have to do them to receive all the promises that he made unto us. So they knew once they take the name from us, that name, if they remove that name from us, there is no way we could rise again. Let me reread it from verse 4. They have said, Come and let them cut them off from being a nation. Cut them off from being a nation. That's what they say. They didn't cut them off from being a nation so they don't exist. They didn't cut them off from being a nation that they didn't get rich. They didn't cut us off from being a nation that we can't work. They didn't cut us off from being a nation that we can walk. They didn't cut us off from being a nation that we don't have children. They didn't cut us off from being a nation that we can build houses. They didn't cut us off from being a nation for those matters. Listen what they cut us off from being a nation for. They plan to cut us off from being a nation so that the name of EZER-IAH, so that the name EZER will not be. That's what they cut us off for. They cut us off so that the name of EZER-IAH may be no more in remembrance. That's why they destroy our city. We was too progressive, we was too blessed, we was too right, we was this. So they cut us off, they destroy us so that we cannot rise, so that we will never remember the name of Aya. That's why they destroy us. He's telling you right here why they have destroyed you, why they have scattered you, why they have sent you to the all ends of the earth. That's why. Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They make agreements. They sign agreements. They become allies with one consent. One consent. They are confederate against Aya. They don't want that's the abomination they set up. That's Lucifer. That's Lucifer. The Romans are Luciferians. They are devil worshippers, my dear brothers and sisters. Catholic is a devil religion. All these religions are devils. That's why they worship JC and call all the names of Babylon. They worship all the idols, all the teraphim. It's in their houses. It's in their churches. It's all over there where they are. The teraphims. That's what they are. Idol worshippers. They make GODs with their hands. I had told you they have eyes they cannot see. They have ears they cannot hear. They have mouth and they cannot speak. And he told you those that make them are like them. And that's why they hate you. You have a living Redeemer, a mighty Redeemer. He is the one who make heaven and earth, the moon and the stars, the sea, and everything that there is in it. That's why they have taken counsel to destroy us as a people. That's the same thing the archangel was explaining to Dan-Iah. So now our people are scattered and they are worshiping the beast. They are worshiping the beast. They are worshiping the idols, the devils. They are worshiping Lucifer. From the time they brought Jesse onto this nation, onto us, our people who worship Jesse are worshiping Lucifer. They are worshiping Lucifer. My dear people, I speak these words to you boldly, without fear or favor. I am telling you, they are worshiping Lucifer. They have confederate against Aya. And now he's going to tell you who they are. The tabernacle of Edom, that's Esau, the Arabs. The Ishmaelites, Moab, the Hagarites, Gibal, Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre, Asher also is joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot. Do unto them as unto the Midianites. Here we have to call for the destruction. They are the ones, my dear brothers and sisters, the Romans, the whole of Europe. They are spread all over Europe, all over Europe. They are the same Jews, all of them. Jewry is a religion. It's not a race. I will repeat this to you. Jewry is a religion. It's not a race. And they are not from Judah, as they lie to you. Judah, the tribe of Aya, was not called Judah. It was called EZER-IAH. It was spelled I-O. It was not with a J. The J never exists. I'm going to post an ancient coin with the name of EZER-IAH on it for you all to see one of these days. The tribe was called EZER-IAH. That was the name of the tribe. And the important part of the name of the tribe was Iah, because his name was on the name of that tribe. And that's the reason why he put that tribe in Jerusalem, where his land was named by the same name, Moriah, where his mountain was named by the same name, Mount Moriah. That's why he put the tribe there. That's why he said, choose a tribe unto David that will keep the lamp light in his land. We was the ones that was supposed to be the priestly, the ones that supposed to praise Iah. That's what the name of the tribe meant, to praise Iah. Iah be praised. That was the name of the tribe. And that's why we was put there. But here we see. Now, my dear people, I will show you, I will read another psalm for you, a part of another psalm. I'll read the whole one. I will read Psalm 89 for you because I want to make this thing known to you, what I'm saying to you. I'm going to read Psalm 89, and it reads, I will sing of the mercy of Iah forever. With my mouth I will make known thy faithfulness to all generation. That name Iah is supposed to be made known from generation to generation among us. Now, we're not talking about the other nations. We're talking generation, not nations. We're talking generation. It's the children of EZER-IAH. That name is given to us. That the name EZER-IAH is on us. And we are supposed to pass it on to our children and our children, children and children to go on and make them know what the name means, what the name Iah means. That's what we were supposed to do. He says, for I have said, mercy shall be built up forever. Thy faithfulness shall thou establish in the very heaven. I have made a covenant with my chosen. Iah is saying he has made a covenant with his chosen. I have sworn unto David my servant. So he has made a covenant with David. Thy seed will he establish forever, and build up thy throne to all generations. So David's throne has to go through all generation, every generation that come after in EZER-IAH. And the heavens shall praise thy wonders, O Iah, thy faithfulness also in the congregation of the saints. For who in the heaven can be compared unto Iah? Who among the sons of the mighty can be linked unto Iah, our Redeemer? Who in the heaven could compare with Iah? Then who on the earth could compare? If nobody in the heaven could compare with him, then who on the earth could compare with him? I want to show you what they did. Iah is great to be feared in the assembly of the saints, and to be heard in reverence of all them that are about him. O Iah, our Redeemer of hosts, who is a strong Redeemer like unto thee? There is none like unto him. Or to thy faithfulness round about thee? Thou rulest the raging of the sea. Now he is expressing the power of Iah. When the waters thereof arise, you still them. Thou hast broken Rahab in pieces as one that is slain. That was a mighty king, which he destroyed when our ancestors was going to the land, the promised land. You scatter thy enemies with thy strong arm. The heaven are yours, the earth also is yours. As for the world and the fullness thereof, thou hast founded them. The north and the south, thou hast created them. Tabor and Harmon shall rejoice in thy name. We have to rejoice in his name. Thou hast a mighty arm, strong in thy hand, high in thy right hand. Justice and judgment, the habitation of thy throne. So our rulership is justice in judgment. Not injustice, justice in judgment. The habitation of thy throne. Mercy and truth shall go before thy face. Iah have mercy, and he gives truth. Blessed is the people that know the joyful song. Blessed are the people who know his laws. Blessed are the people who know his words. They shall walk, O EZER-IAH, in the light of your countenance. We will walk in his glory. We will walk. When you know his words, you will walk in his glory. In his name shall they rejoice. In his name we have to praise. In his name, is in the name of EZER-IAH, we have to praise and rejoice all day, all day. And in thy righteousness shall they be exalted. And what is EZER-IAH's righteousness? His truth. EZER-IAH's law is his righteousness. His law is the truth. And when in his laws, we'll be exalted. We will be raised up. We will be strengthened when we start to do them. For thou art the glory of their strength. For thou art the glory of their strength. EZER-IAH is the glory of our strength. Without EZER-IAH, we have no strength. And in EZER-IAH favor, our horn shall be exalted. In him we will be able to rule. In him we will be able to change our ways. For EZER-IAH is our defense. The Holy One of Israel, EZER-IAH, is our King. Who is the Holy One of Israel, EZER-IAH? EZER-IAH is the Holy One of Israel, EZER-IAH. He is our King. Then thou speak in vision to thy Holy One. No, EZER-IAH is going to tell you the Holy One he have chosen. EZER-IAH said, EZER-IAH have laid help upon one that is mighty. EZER-IAH have exalted one chosen out of the people. Whose people? EZER-IAH's people. Who is EZER people? Israel-IAH. Who is Israel-IAH? We, the Hebrew Israelites. He said he have found one. He didn't say he find two. He said I found one chosen out of his people. He said, he have found David his servant, and with his holy oil have he anointed him. He found David, he anointed David, with whom his hands shall be established. EZER power, EZER authority will be established with David. My arm also shall strengthen him. The enemy shall not exalt upon him. Nobody go kill David. Nobody go destroy David. Nobody could do David any harm. Nor the son of wickedness afflict him. All the enemies that came up against him, none of them would be able to destroy him. I will beat down his foes before his face. EZER is saying here, he will destroy David's enemy before his face. And he will plague them that hate him. Just like he is doing right now in these nations, these plagues we are seeing in these nations we are seeing here is because they have forsaken David. They know David is the one that was anointed. They know David is the Messiah. They know it. But they hid David. They hide him from you, my brothers and sisters. David, he just told you, David is the one he anointed. He didn't anoint no Jesse. He didn't anoint Jesse when he was alive, and they told you when he was dead and they was going to anoint him, he was not there. So he was never anointed. In life nor in death, he was anointed. David is the one that was anointed to be your shepherd. He says here, I will beat down his foes before his face and plague them that hate him. But my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him. And in EZER's name shall his horn be exalted. In EZER's name, his horn, which means his power, his authority will be exalted. EZER say he will set his hand in the sea and his right hand in the river. He is giving him full authority of the earth. Here, EZER in 26, he said, he shall cry out to EZER He shall cry out to me, which he shall cry out to Iah. You are my Father. You are my Redeemer. You are the rock of my salvation, which means you are my Savior. He is telling you, he said, I will make him my firstborn. Then they come and they're telling you something different. He will make him his firstborn higher than the kings of the earth. So David will be the kings of kings. He is higher than all the kings of the earth. Isaiah saying 28, his mercy will he keep for him forevermore. Why is Isaiah saying his mercies will he keep for him forevermore? Because Isaiah know there is a time when he will go to sleep with his ancestors. But his mercy, he will hold it there for him because he is going to raise him up again. And my covenant, Isaiah's covenant shall stand fast with him. And he go on to tell you about his children. He will have children. Let me read it. His seeds also will he make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven. My dear brothers and sisters, we are of the descendants of David. We, the children of Judea that is alive, are of the descendants of David. We are the house of David. We are the children of David. Those that are not of David have already died and passed away. They died in Jerusalem. They died on the slave ship. They died on the plantation. We are the children of David. This is the one he promised his seed shall live forever. From the tribe of Judah. His seeds also will I make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven. If his children forsake Ah's law, if they forsake his righteousness, and walk not in his judgment, if we do not keep his commandments, if they break his laws and keep not his commandments, 32, then will I visit their transgression with the rod and their iniquity with stripes. And that's what he is doing to us until this day. That's why we have all these sicknesses. That's why we are oppressed. That's why we are despised. That's why we are beaten down and locked up in prison and killed on the street. That's why it's happening to us till this day. We are we are from the seed of David. Nevertheless, my loving kindness will I not utterly take from him. Here he's saying, although all these things will happen to his children, he will not take the loving kindness he had for him. He will not take it away from him. No, we know David is dead. Here Isaiah is talking about his children, right? So Isaiah know he will be dead, he will live, he will go and sleep with the ancestors. Isaiah knows that. Because he is telling you about his children. But he tell you if the children disobey his commandments, what he will do to them. That's why there is none or no throne today. That's why we don't even have a throne. We don't have a kingdom. Because they disobeyed, the children disobeyed. But here Isaiah is telling you, nevertheless, his loving kindness will he not take from David, nor suffer David to fail. He wouldn't suffer David to fail. Why? He have a covenant with him. And he promised he go raise him up. He says, my covenant will I not break, nor alter the things that gone out of his lips. Once he have sworn by his holiness that he will not lie unto David. He wouldn't lie unto David. Everything he speak about David must come to be, my dear brothers and sisters. He is telling you whatever he said about David has to happen. His seed shall endure forever. Yes, we are still here. And his throne as the sun before Aya. So the throne is still in the presence of Aya. Aya say his throne is like the sun before him. His throne is still shining before him. He's not on it right now. There is nobody on it, but it is in Ayah's possession. It shall be established forever as the moon. You hear that? His throne shall be established forever as the moon, and as a faithful witness in heaven. So Ayah is in possession of David's throne. But thou hast cast off and abhorred, thou hast been wroth with thine anointed. Thou hast made void the covenant of thy servant. Thou hast profaned his crown by casting it to the ground. Thou hast broken down all the hedges. Thou hast brought his stronghold to ruin. All that pass by the way spoil him. He is a reproach to his neighbor. He's talking about the land. The children didn't obey. Now the land is desolate. He has destroyed everything. And he has scattered us. We are scattered. He used the heathen to do this to us. He used the evil people to do evil. The Most High create all things. He create all things. He create evil. He create evil to use evil when he need to use it. Just like he create wind to cause it to blow when he want it to blow. He cause rain to fall when he want it to fall. He does this because he made them. He control them. He tell you they are all his servants. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, the tape is getting a little bit long, so I'm going to skip the rest because you can continue to read it, what he says, but I just wanted to show you who he has anointed. And I will go again. I want to show you this before I say something to you. I will take you to Psalm 94 and I will read from verse 5. It says, they slay the widow and the stranger and murder the fatherless. Yet they say, Ayah shall not see, neither shall Ayah the Redeemer of Jacob regard it. That's the Ayah tells us in Isaiah chapter 34 in verse 16. He says, seek you out of the book of Ayah and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For Ayah's mouth it has commanded it, and his spirit it has gathered it. So Ayah have spoken it, his spirit has gathered it for us. Ayah says in Isaiah chapter 59, verse 20, he states, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion, it is Mount Moriah, and unto them that turn from transgression in EZER-IAH, says Ayah, as for Ayah, this is my covenant with them. Listen to the covenant Ayah have with us at this time. He says Ayah, his spirit that is upon them, and his words that he have put in their mouth, shall not depart out of their mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, says Ayah, from henceforth and evermore. Ayah tells us in Isaiah chapter 60, from verse 1, it reads, arise, shine, for the light has come, and the glory of Ayah is risen upon thee. That's the truth. The day has come. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth. That's where it is now. It's dark. And gross darkness, the people. So it's on the earth and it's on the people. But Ayah shall arise upon thee. Ayah shall come unto us. And his glory shall be seen upon us. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about and see. All they gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy son shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. You shall see. Open thine eyes, you shall see. In the book of Hezekiah, in the book of EZER-IAH, he asks you, who has believed our report? To whom is the arm of IAH revealed? Who it is? Who? EZER-IAH chapter 51, verses 7. Hearken unto IAH, you that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is IAH's law. IAH righteousness is his law. Fear you not the reproach of men, neither be afraid of their doings. In Jeremiah, in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 33, he says, this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says IAH. I will put his law, he will put his law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their redeemer, and they shall be his people. My dear brothers and sisters, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know IAH, for they shall all know IAH, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, says IAH. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sins no more, says IAH, our Redeemer. Here IAH is telling us he is the one that will forgive our sins. He is the one that will forgive our iniquities. He is the one that will not remember our sins anymore. In Jeremiah chapter 30, we go to verse 9, and it reads, they shall serve IAH their Redeemer, and David their King, whom IAH will raise up unto them. The children of Israel will serve IAH their King, and David, whom IAH will raise up unto them. In the book of Hezekiah, the book of Ezekiel, in the report that he gave us, IAH said to us in chapter 34, from verse 22, he says, therefore will I save my flock, and they shall no more be a prey. IAH is saying here he will save his people, and nobody can prey on us anymore. And I will judge between cattle and cattle. He go judge between us. He go take out the righteous. And I will set up one shepherd over them. One shepherd. When he separates us, he's setting up one shepherd over us. Here he's saying he's going to judge. And he is going to judge between cattle and cattle. And after he do this, he will set up one shepherd over those whom he choose. And that shepherd shall feed them. His servant David, he shall feed them. He shall be their shepherd. Here I is telling you, my brothers and sisters, in your holy book, the book he just told you that you have to read, and no part of it has lost its mate. He's not telling you here anything about no New Testament. He's telling you here in the report he sent to you. This is the report he sent to you. This is what referring to Isaiah 53, the book of Ezekiel. Read it. He is the servant the suffering servant. He is giving you exactly how EZER gave him the words to bring to you. He told you how EZER gave him the words. He told you how EZER had him, the stages he put him through to bring these words to you. Here he is telling you, he will set up over you one shepherd. One shepherd. He didn't say two shepherds. And he didn't just say he's going to set up a shepherd over you. He's telling you who's the shepherd he's setting up over you. The same one he told you, I read earlier, that he have found and have anointed. That's the one he's setting up over you. He said he found David, his servant. And he is going to set him up over you. And he is going to feed you. Feed you with what? Justice. He's going to give you justice and righteousness. That's what he's feeding you with. And he shall be your shepherd with justice, peace, and righteousness. EZER is going to feed us bread. David is going to make sure we get justice and peace. And EZER will be our redeemer. You see, EZER is our redeemer. EZER is our redeemer. And his servant David, a prince among us. So David is just like a son, like a shepherd. EZER have spoken it. My dear brothers and sisters, here the Most High is telling you, this is the words he have spoken. This is the word he sent to us. Stop rejecting this. He just told you, he have spoken it. I will go to another part of our report that he sent to us. In this time, I will go to the Ezekiel in chapter, it will be chapter 37, and I will begin in chapter 21. This is particular for my brothers and sisters who are failing to comprehend what EZER is saying to us. I'm going to come back to what I read to you earlier from Dan-Iah, but I'm showing you these scriptures here because you need to know them. Because it's based on what we read in Dan-Iah. It's based on what we read. It's based on what he told Dan-Iah to lock up the words. It's based on telling Dan-Iah, this is not for your time. These I'm showing you. This is the basis for it. So let me read for you. And say unto them, here he's saying, say unto them, because in all the whole report, he was telling Ezekiel what to say unto us, what to say unto the children of Israel. If you read your report, the whole book of Ezekiel, he was telling him what to say to the children of Israel. So here Ezekiel is saying, he said to me, say unto them, thus says EZER the Redeemer, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen. He's going to take us from among the heathen, where they be gone, and will gather them on every side. I just read where he says he's going to judge and bring them into their own land. Those whom he choose, he will bring them in his own land. And I will make them one nation. My dear brothers, we are not a nation right now. We are divided. We don't even know our other tribes. We don't know our brothers. We don't know where they are. They're all over the place. Here the Most High is talking about future. The Most High is talking about something to come. This is the report he sent to us. We have to read that report. He's telling us about something that has not yet done. And here he is saying, he's going to bring us back in our own land. We are not in our land as yet. We are not in the land that is named by EZER. We are not in the land that he named by his name. We are not there. And he is saying he's going to bring us back there. And EZER will make them one nation. Right now, we are not a nation. We don't have leaders. We don't have. So listen to what EZER is saying to us when he brings us back into land, what he's going to do. In the land upon the mountain of Israel. Which mountain of Israel? He's talking about Mount Moriah. He's going to bring us back there. The same place he brought us when we took us out of Egypt. The same place where he tell Moses, Shemaiah, to bring us back as a token, to bring us back to the mountain. The same place where he told him to bring us back, that he will speak to us. The same place where Moses sprinkled the blood on our ancestors. That same mountain, that's what he's talking about. He's going to bring us back in the same place where he told Abraham to offer Isaac as a sacrifice, to see how much Isaac loved him. That's why he chose to see how much Abraham loved him. And that's why he made that covenant with Abraham and with Isaac and with Jacob. It's the same place he is speaking about, my dear brothers and sisters. So he says, upon the mountain of EZER-IAH, and one king shall be king over them all. So when he brings us back there, we having one king. We are not having no two and no three. We having one king. And there shall be no more two nations. We ain't going back there talking about we Judea and we are EZER-IAH. We going back as one people. One people. Because right now we don't know who Benjamin, we don't know who is Levi, we don't know the difference. So when we go back there, we're going back as one nation. Total unity. Total unity. Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore. No division. Right here we are divided among ourselves. We don't know nothing. When we go back there, we're going back as one body. All we know is we are Israelites. That's we going back there. Israelites. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols. I want to, as I'm telling you, the reason why I'm reading the scriptures is to show you what the nations have done to you. They have given you idols to worship. They have given you teraphims to worship. They have they have turned away from the Most High, turned you away from the Most High. When they scattered you, they have turned you away from the Most High, your Redeemer. They have taken his name away from you. They have taken his name of his land away from you, his name of his mountain away from you. He has taken the name of his prophets. They never teach you. They have not shown you what I want you to know, my dear brothers and sisters, so that you will never be saved. And as long as you are confused and full of confusion, they will rule over you. As long as you are full with confusion and transgression, they will rule over you. You have to clean yourself up, your act. You have to call on the name of your Redeemer. As long as our ancestors was in the land of Egypt without the name of the Most High, the Egyptians would have ruled over them. As long as they was there and they was not calling on the name of their Redeemer, the Egyptian would have ruled over them. And if they did not call on the name of our Redeemer, they will still be there. It's the same thing. We are in the same condition. And here he is sending his name unto us again. We need to call on his name. We need to start to keep his commandments. We need to hope in his promise so that we could get out of this and go back into the land that I have for us. Here he's telling us, and we shall not defile ourselves any more with idols, nor with their detestable things, all the things they teach us, the wood and the stone, the JC on the cross, the stone in Mecca. We will not be deceived by these things anymore. But I will save us out of all their dwellings, wherever we are, they scattered us. Where we are scattered, I will save us, wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. He will clean us. Remember, he tells us we are to be washed. He is going to clean us up, and we will be his people, and he will be our Redeemer. Aya is coming back to us. He said, and David, my servant, shall be king over them. Here, Isaiah is telling us who he's going to set up over us as a king. He is going to, I read earlier, he's going to make him kings of all kings. He said he's going to make him kings of all the kings over all the kings of the earth. Here he's saying he's going to set him as king over us, my dear people. David is the one he anointed. David is the one that will be king. David is the one that will be a shepherd. Here he says he's going to make him king over us, and they shall have one shepherd. He is our shepherd. Isaiah will be, that's why he call him a son or a prince. Isaiah is the one that will feed us. Isaiah is the one that will get us food. Isaiah is the one that will give us rain. Isaiah is the one that will give us this. But David is the one that will enforce, make sure we keep his laws. David is the one that will teach us the laws. David is the one that will make sure we learn his principles, how to serve Isaiah, how to worship Isaiah. He is the one. He was king already. Remember, Isaiah is telling you of future happenings, future events. He's telling you here of future events. We are not gathered yet. We are not back in the land yet. So Isaiah is not talking about something that's past here. He's talking about something to come. He says, they shall also walk in Isaiah's judgment and observe Isaiah's statutes and do them. Who is going to enforce that? David is going to enforce that. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob, my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt. He's telling us which land we're going back. He's talking about. They shall dwell therein, even they and their children, and their children's children forever. Ever means times without end. We are not there yet. We are in strange lands. We are in the land of our enemies. And then he continued to tell you, he said, and my servant David shall be the prince forever. So here David is going to be our prince forever. If David is our prince forever, who is the king forever? Isaiah is the king forever. My dear brothers and sisters, hear the word of Isaiah. Hear what he is saying to you. And then he tells you when he set up David over you, when he brings us back and set up David over us, what he's going to do. He says, moreover, I will make a covenant of what? Peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them. And Isaiah will place them and multiply them, and will set his sanctuary in the midst of them. What is the sanctuary? His sanctuary is a safe place. So he's putting us in a safe place, not in heaven, on the earth. And he's going to raise up David for us, unto us. My tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their redeemer, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, our Redeemer, do sanctify Israel. When his sanctuary shall be in the midst of us. When he set us up in this safe place, which he told us that in the time of the war of Armageddon, they're going to have that evil thought to come to provoke us, because we will be living with unwalled cities, and they go try to come to say they're coming to loot us out. And then this is where he's going to deal with them. The host of heaven will deal with these armies of the earth. And then how long we will have to bury their bodies, and how long we'll have to burn their weapons. That's what I is saying here to us, my dear brothers and sisters. Read your book and get it in your intellect. Get it in your intellect. David is the one who was anointed to be our shepherd. David is the one Isaiah will raise up unto us. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, I take you to Zechariah chapter 13, and I will read 2 verses for you. Chapter 13, and it reads from verse 1. In that day there shall be a fountain open to the house of David, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, for sin and for uncleanness. And it shall come to pass in that day, says EZER of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirits to pass out of the land. EZER is telling us he's going to set up a fountain to wash us, to make us clean, those who seek him. And in that day, he's going to take out the names of the idols out of our mouth. My dear brothers and sisters, listen to what I'm saying to you. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Now I take you to the book of Hosea, and it is chapter 3, and I will go in verse 4 with you. It says here, "For the children of EZER-IAH shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without a teraphim, without an idol." The teraphim are idols. Afterwards, after those days, after these come to an end, when he destroy our enemies and he decide to put us back together, he says, "Afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek their Redeemer, and David their King, and shall fear and his goodness in the latter days, and shall fear and his goodness in the latter days." In the book of Hosea, chapter 13, we read in verse 4, your Redeemer, he is your Redeemer from the land of Egypt. You shall know no other God but I, for there is no Savior but I. There is no Savior besides him. No Savior besides him. We go to verse 9. He says, "O Israel, you have destroyed yourself. You have destroyed yourself. But in him, in I, there is where your help is." He says, you have destroyed yourself. In verse 9, "O Israel, you have destroyed yourself. But in me is your help." Your help is in I. Your help is in I. In Micah chapter 4 from verse 1, it reads, "In the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of I shall be established in the top of the mountain, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it, and many nations shall come and say, Come and let us go up to the mountain of I, and to the house of the mighty one of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways." What is the house? What is the mountain of I? They will come to Mount Moriah. They will go in the land of Moriah and seek I. Now, my dear people, let me say this to you. With all that I have just read to you, I am trying to present to you the fact that I have spoken his word unto us. I have never given us one called Jesse. I have never promised us to go to heaven. I never promised us we have to trust in the blood or in the flesh of any man. I have told us he have chosen one from among us. He have found David his servant. He has anointed him with his holy oil. He showed us that he will raise him up unto us. He showed us that we will have to seek Iah and David. He told us that he will set one shepherd up over us, and it's David. But the heathen does not want you to read this, because from the time they have set up the abomination to cause us to be desolate, the abomination is this new thing that they set up, this new savior that they have created, this new one they call JC, the one that you have to put your hope in, you have to put your trust in, you have to take him as your personal savior, you have to eat his flesh and drink his blood, you have to trust in his name, you have to call his name over and everything, you have to call his name. By you doing this, you have forgotten the name of your Redeemer. By you believing in what they have given you in this New Testament, you have forgot the laws of your Redeemer. By you listening to them, the abomination, you have sold yourself for naught. And Iah is the only one that can help you. You have to return to the name that Iah gave you. You have to return one day. You have to return to the laws that he gave you. You have to return to the promises he gave you. Because he did not promise you heaven. He promised you a land. The one that they given you, Jesse, was never anointed. Neither when he was alive, nor when he was dead. They told you when he was dead, they went to anoint him in the morning and he has already gone. So he was never anointed. They're lying to you. The one they give you as Jesse, now our brothers is giving you as Yeshua. Well, let me tell you about this man. This man that they're giving you about there. This man's name was Yeshua. I-O-S-H-U-I-A. That was his name. That they call it in Hebrew. This man, at the age of 12 years, he went to India. He went into the Buddhist temples in India. He went and learned from the mystical ways of the Buddha, idolatry. He went and studied the way of Teraphim. That's what he went and do. When he came back into Jerusalem, he was 30 years old. My dear brothers and sisters, do you all ever ask what happened to the missing years of him? What happened to him from the years of 12 to 30? Do you ever ask the question? Do you know how much years he walked in Jerusalem? Do you know he came back when he was 30 years old and he was killed when he was 33? Do you know that what I read to you, the Most High told you that the one that he have chosen to be your shepherd, no, the wicked shall not exact upon him. He will beat down his enemies before his face. He is telling you that the one whom he has anointed to be your shepherd, nobody can hurt him. Nobody can kill him. Nobody would be able to hurt him or do him any harm. He was anointed by the Most High, and the Spirit of the Most High was upon him. Read the history of David. Read when he was anointed by Solomon. Read what happened. How Solomon happened to anoint him. Who sent Solomon to look for him? How he found him. And then go and look at your Jesse and show me where he was anointed. Show me who anointed him. Show me this in the book that Iah gave us. Show me in the book. Even in the book they give you, they cannot show you it. Don't you see the abomination that they set up? That's what I read to you from Dan-Iah. That is what Dan-Iah was showing Dan-Iah that would happen in the future. That is what. For from the time they came there and they destroyed the place and scattered Iah's people, they have caused Iah's people to be desolate because of the false doctrine they have taught you. And now Iah is saying, in some of what I read to you, Iah is telling you who is the one that he raised up to you. And he never shows that we have to pray to him. He never tells us he is our Redeemer. He never shows that David is our Redeemer. No. He said he will set up David as a shepherd over us. David will be to carry out his laws on the earth. He's setting up David again as a king. He is not setting him up as a redeemer. Iah is our redeemer. He tells us he is our savior. Besides him, there is no savior. There is no savior besides him. Then read Isaiah 43 and read 45. Read 44. Read your book. Read the book of Ezekiel. This is the report that Iah gave us. He sent him with that report to us. Everything you see in the book of Ezekiel is what's pertaining to us. Everything in the book. It must happen because Iah spoke it. It must come to be. So listen to what I'm saying to you. And give up this false doctrine, this abomination, this doctrine that caused abomination to us. They set it up as abomination to us. Iah hates it. Iah does not want us to serve anything but him, anyone but him. And for that matter, we don't have to serve any man that live. Any man that was in the world, Iah created him. Iah created all things. That's what he told us. And he told us we must not make no images, no teraphim. We are not to consult with no demons, no spirits, except when we call on the name of Iah. That's the spirit we have to call. That's the spirit we have to bring to ourselves. He gave us a name of it to call. We have to call his name. His name is Iah. And he will come unto us. My dear brothers and sisters, I am trying to make this thing clear and straight before your face. I'm trying to show you what they have done to us as a people. It's the same people who have destroyed our temple. It's the same people who have enslaved us. It's the same people who have hanged us on trees. The same people who have burned us alive. Take our kids and make alligator bait, skin us and take our skin and make bags with it, handbags and shoes. These are the same people who have written that New Testament. The same people who knew what happened to you in Egypt. They knew how you happened to get out of Egypt. They knew it was a name given to you. They knew it was a name you was calling upon. They knew as long as you call on that name, things happened for you. They knew when you call on the name, the plagues came on Egypt. They knew when you call on that name, the sea parted for you. They knew when you call on that name, you got food came down from heaven for you. They knew when you call and relied on that name, you got water from the rock. They knew when you call on that name, all the nations that you passed by that came out to fight against you was defeated. They knew this. So when it was their time and they decided to come against you, as I read to you, they have plotted. The first thing they have to do is to what? to make sure that name does not exist among you, that you forget that name. That was the aim. The aim was to destroy that name from you. That's why everywhere you went, the first thing they did was to change our names. They never wanted you to learn to read because they know if you learn to read, you will get that name. Because I promise he's going to give us back that clean language, that pure language. We're going to know his name again. We're going to be able to comprehend his word again. We'll be able to see what they have done with his word to us to destroy us. So they set out, as I read to you, they set out to make sure you do not know that name. They set out to make sure you call a name that they give you. They know the name they give you cannot do anything for you, my brothers and sisters. They know the name they give you is abomination to you. And as long as you're calling that name, you will be cursed. Confusion will be upon you. You will be desolate because it's an abomination to you. They have given you the name of idols, of teraphim, of evil spirits. They have given you the names of Lucifer. They have given you the names they know that will destroy you so that they will always control you because all they need from you is your strength, the ability to do what they want you to do. So they have taken your power away from you, my brothers and sisters. And they have given you a blonde hair, blue eye, and now our brothers are turning him black. My dear brothers and sisters, if he is black, he is a man. If he is white, he is a man. We are not to serve man. We are not to serve carven images. We are not to serve graven images. We are not to serve wood. We are not to serve stone. We are not to serve evil spirits. We are not to serve the name or use the names of Baals. I just read to you. He says he will take those names out of our mouth and we will make no mention of them anymore. The word Lord is the same word Baal. The same word JC is the same word Zeus. Babylonian mighty ones. The word God is not a name, it's a title. They have removed the word Redeemer and put God. Let us return unto EZER-IAH. Just like the last I read to you, he said they will say, come on and let us go up to the mountain. Which mountain? The mountain, Mount Moriah. The same mountain he told Shemaiah, Moses, that when you take the children out of Egypt, with my name I'm giving you, you're going to take them out. You have to come to this same mountain that is called by my name, and here I will speak to them. And he did it, and he spoke to them, and they was so frightened because they was doing wrong. So they asked Shemaiah to go up to the mountain and to hear what EZER-IAH have to say, and then come and speak to them. And EZER-IAH says, so be it. If that's how you want it, so be it. It's our ancestors that refused to hear directly from EZER-IAH, our Redeemer. So he spoke through Shemaiah, and Shemaiah spoke to Aaron and their sister. This is what happened to our people, my dear brothers and sisters. But EZER-IAH is saying to you today, you need to know his name. You need to give up this abomination so you may come out of that desolation. You are desolate. Your land is desolate. I began with telling you, he said, what has had happened to it has never happened to any other land before. Why? Because we have gone astray. We have sold ourselves for nothing. We have gone after the abomination that they have set up. And that's what we are carrying. And that's why the curses are on us as a people. It's not them. EZER-IAH didn't give them no law. EZER didn't give them no name. He gave it to you. And you are the one who rejected it. So you are the one who paid the price for it. You are the one. He used them as evil beings. He uses them to tempt you. And you are falling for it. You are falling for it. As he used the serpent to Eve, so he is using them to you. You are to get yourself out from among them. That's what he says. Get out from among them, my people, and be not partakers of their sin. Because you will die with them. You will die. Look at our people who are mingling with them and associating with them and want to be like them and pulling themselves away from the rest of us. Look how they die. They die just like them. That's what I am saying to you. My dear brothers and sisters, wake up and open your eyes and open your ears and speak to EZER, your Redeemer. His name is EZER. Speak it to your friends. Tell them his name. Give them his name. Whether they adhere or they forbear, EZER wants you to give them his name. Read your book of Ezekiel. This is what EZER sent to us, the report. He said, who shall accept that report? Who shall believe it? We are to believe it because it was sent to us by EZER. In Isaiah 53, say, who will believe that report? That report is the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel, his correct name, Hezekiah, he was the suffering servant. He was the one EZER put to bring this report to us. Read it. Read Isaiah 53 and then go and read Ezekiel. And you will see. Take your time and read it. You will see what he's saying to you, my dear brothers and sisters. So I pray that EZER may bless you and guide you and protect you. I pray that he will protect you from all danger, from all accidents, and from all iniquity. I pray that you will comprehend the name of EZER, because, my dear brothers, we have sold ourselves for nothing. We have lost everything because of the ways of the heathen. We have accepted the abomination. We are living the abomination, and EZER has turned his face from us, and confusion has come unto us. So we have to turn back to EZER. We have to call on his name, and we have to keep his commandments, and we have to hope in the promises he hoped to us. They have lied to us in every aspect of what they have given us as their abomination. They told us that the one they give us is our Messiah. My dear brothers and sisters, the word Messiah means anointed. And this one, he was never anointed. Even they turn him black and call him EZER-IAH, which is correct. They call him, and they say he is black. He was not anointed. David was the one anointed. They tell us that he has gone in heaven to prepare a place for us. EZER says that he has a land for us. He keeps telling us throughout the whole book, he is going to return us to his land, the land he promised our ancestors. I read to you where he says he is going to put David as our shepherd, and we will live there with our children and our children's children forever and ever. We are human beings. Hue means colored. We are humans. And EZER made the earth for us. That's why he told us he made us from the earth. We have to inherit the earth. These strange beings, these strange children that came here, who is not of the earth, who is unable to live under the rays of the sun, they does not belong to this. Don't follow the ways. Follow the ways of the prophets. Not even your ancestors. Just follow the ways of the prophets. Because EZER said he sent the prophets in his name with his words unto us. And that's what we have to follow. No tradition. We have to follow what the prophet says. the words, Ayah words. Ayah spoke his words through them, and we have to listen to Ayah's word. That is what will work for us. We have to call on Ayah's name. No one came here and died for you. The blood of any man cannot do anything for you. My dear brothers and sisters, if it could have done, it would have done for all of them who calling on it. It has done nothing. It has done nothing. I call it an abomination. That is the abomination they set up, the false doctrine. When they scattered us, they gave us that false doctrine. That's the abomination they set up among Ayah's people. That is what destroys and is continuing destroying Ayah's people. We have to give it up. We have to turn back to the name of Ayah. No other name. That's why he gave us his name in the 10 commandments on the stone. Out of the 10 commandments, he gave Shemaiah in stone. He put it there. He says, you must not use this name for vain purposes, and you must not cast it away to ruin. What is he telling you? He said, don't take it and lock it up somewhere. Don't put it in a safety box. Don't hide it away. He tell you, don't misuse it. It's like somebody giving you a treasure, and they say, listen, it's for you to use. This is what will help you in your life. Don't hide it away. Use it. But don't use it carelessly. Don't be wasteful. Don't use it carelessly. That's what he's saying to us. We have to use it for our salvation. We have to use it for our help. This is the spirit Ayah gave us. This is the one that's going to help us. No one else. Not what the heathen give you, not what you choose for yourself. You are born an Hebrew Israelite. Remember that. You don't have to convert to nothing. They are trying to take the name out of the book. So now you find all their writings they're doing is only about Jews, Jews, Jews. The Most High never call us Jews. The Most High never address us as Jews. The Most High never send his prophets to speak to no Jews. The Most High never sent us no disciples and no apostles. He sent us prophets. The Most High didn't give us no new truth. Testament. The word testament means truth. The Most High didn't give us no new truth. He gave us his testament. Then they call it old. And they give you something new. Now you accept their testament. You are accepting their new truth. My friend, there is no new truth and old truth. There is one truth. And Ayah has already given us his truth. Go back to the truth that Ayah has given you. And forget their new truth. Leave their new truth for them. Because their new truth is what causes you to be desolate. Their new truth is what's destroying you. Has begun to destroy you from the time they went into the temple, destroy the land. That's what Dan-Iah was saying to you. That's what he is saying to you in what I read to you in Dan-Iah. That's what he is saying to you. Read it again. Read over what I read to you again. All the things I read to you. Read them over. Take your time and read them over and see what Dan-Iah is saying to you. Dan-Iah chapter 12. This is what I read to you. And then read all the other scriptures I gave you and see. And then put it together in your intellect. Take your time and see what I'm saying to you. Ayah wants you to know that this is the day. This is the time he told him to lock that book up for. He told him to seal it. It was not for him. It's for us. Open it up now and use what Ayah has given you. Use the intellect he has given you. May Ayah bless you and keep you always. Ayah, I thank you for everything. I thank you for the opportunity to speak your word again to your children, to my brothers and sisters around the world. I pray, Ayah, that their word will go in the wind and get into the ears of those whom you want to hear it, and it will magnify them and strengthen the spirit that you have set in them, the spirit to listen to it and they will be awakened and arise, shake themselves and stand up and call your name and sing your praise. O Ayah, my Redeemer. Praise be to you, Ayah, for you are great. Ayah is great. Ayah is great. Ayah name is excellent in all the earth. Ayah name is excellent in all the earth. Praise be to Ayah. Praise be to Ayah. Praise be to Ayah.